Good afternoon, Sagittarius. Welcome to Kiki's Doorway. Let's see what your past life wants you to know for July 12th to July 18th, 2018. But before we do, I have to do a huge shout out to all the Kiki's Doorway Star Power Warriors. Let's get to it, okay? Miss Williams, Rubliminum, the 305 Goddess, Miss Queenie Wise, Miss Dual, Mr. Ibrahim, Miss Pollard, Miss Hello Kick Girl for Life, Miss Armstrong, Miss Kimberly, Sacred Waspins, Nicole Matthew, Perry Aseri, Himani Das, Ink This, Teresa Manner, Way Shower, Sylvia Candia, Mr. Aldana, Miss Saloon, Nabil, Miss Isin, Mr. Magia, Miss Sean, Mr. Sims, Miss Cabby, Amanda Smith, Shirley Gallianis, Lena Harris, Linda Mickey 0509, Miss Gina Latori, Heaven Lovecat, Bernadette Pergolis, and Eyes of Capricorn. Thank you for all the viewers that have come into Kiki's Doorway towards the Akashi Records. Thank you for watching this channel. It means the world to me. It gives me the fire for you to keep going. I love what I do, and I love connecting to all of you. So let's get it started for Mr. and Miss Sagittarius. Let's see. Okay. All right. God, Gaia, God, Goddess, Mother, Father. What does Sagittarius past life want them to connect to for July 12th to July 18th, 2018? What does Sagittarius past life want them to connect to for July 12th to July 18th, 2018? I know from July 4th to July 11th, Sagittarius had to connect with their significant other when it came to the masculine and feminine energies. I know that you were able to connect and to see exactly what needs to be done. So what actions should Sagittarius take for July 12th to July 18th, 2018? What actions should Sagittarius take for July 12th to July 18th? What action should Sagittarius take on July 12th to July 18th? What action? Okay. So let's see, Mr. and Miss Sagittarius. What your past life wants you to know? Okay. All right. So, Mr. and Miss Sagittarius, your past life wants you to connect to your father, whether it be your living father, your spiritual father. Reconnect with that side of yourself, with that side of who you are. Also, Mr. and Miss Sagittarius, you have the masculine energies in you. Now it's time to reconnect with that with different perspectives. Last week, from July 4th to July 11th, you were confronting the masculine and feminine side of yourself through another, or through people and places and things, right? Now that you found out what's the root of the issue, now you can address it with that masculine side of yourself with more grace, tenacity, and understanding. Another way that you can heal this aspect or even further understand it is by connecting to your actual biological father. Come to your father with the situation that you had or that you have, right? And see what your father says about it, because a father also has the her in it. Your father, when you come to him, he will know because of his relationship with females, with him or herself, right? He knows his masculine side. The father knows his masculine side of himself, and he knows his feminine side of himself. He also knows what it takes to connect and to heal with the feminine side of yourself, right? So Mr. and Mrs Saggitarius, go for July 12th to July 18th. Talk to your father. Go to your biological father or a male figure that you've always seen as a father figure to you. I've been fortunate before I actually knew my biological father. My mother surrounded me with a lovely man that I seen as a true father figure to me. Yes, I have a biological father. Yes, I have masculine energies that were father-like to me, but this particular one, when it came to the opposite sex, I've always went to him before he passed away, and he always taught me tokens of wisdom. So for July 12th to July 18th, go to your either biological father if you're connected to him. Go to a father figure that you've always connected with and ask them these questions that have been on your mind and on your soul and definitely in your heart. And you will get those answers. Even reconnecting to the spiritual father principle of yourself, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Quran, whether it be Kabbalah, Buddha, whatever your spiritual representation of the father is, reconnect with that. That will also give you a template or a pillar of what you already know, and to have a physical, tangible document of those principles and the steps that people before us have used. Let's see what Doreen Virtue says about that. Doreen Virtue's past life. Let's see, for Mr. and Mrs Saggitarius. So, Father. This card indicates that your father in this life was with you in prior lifetimes. Any issues you had with your father likely began long ago. Look at the cards that you draw prior to and after this card, as they will yield clues about the previous lives that you two shared. He may not have been your father in those lives, though as souls continue to reincarnate together in different roles. That would explain why when I looked at the word father, I've also seen the word her. Okay, Mr. Mrs Saggitarius. Let's continue. To break any negative patterns with your father's soul, be willing to release old anger or unforgiveness. This can be conscious or unconscious emotional energy stored in your psyche. Just your willingness to clear toxic relationship energy is enough to initiate the healing process. Remember that forgiveness doesn't mean that you approve of this person's actions. It simply means that you are no longer willing to carry around any anger. By releasing the past, you subsequently heal your present and future. If you totally forgive your father and yourself, you no longer have to reincarnate with that soul, unless you choose to. You retain only the lessons, growth, and love you shared. As an added benefit, the healing work that you do with your father helps all of the relationships you have with men. So, Mr. and Mrs Saggitarius, on July 4th to July 11th, if you had any issues from the last card I drew with the man and a woman, if you have any issues with your intimate relationships, with your job relationships, with your friend relationships, with even relationship with yourself, you found out that is connected to the Father, right? Now that you connected it to the Father, which is your root, the root chakra happens to be your Father. Now, one way to heal it, like Dorian Virtue and myself mentioned earlier, talk to your father, whether it be biological, whether it be a father figure that always protected and guided you some way, somehow. It's just that you haven't reconnected in a while. And if you haven't connected with your biological father, maybe this is the time to connect with him. Because, for example, with me, I explained that I connected to, yes, a father figure that my mother connected me, that I was guided by. However, I took the opportunity to connect to my biological father. And when I did that, I realized that me and my biological father had a lot in common. That would explain why at one point in my life, I was scared to have marriage. I was afraid to commit because I found out my father wanted commitment, but my mother didn't. And at that time, that made sense because they were 16, 17 years old. So once I realized his side of the story, I understood my mother's reason for why they couldn't commit or why they had to separate. Now, when I have relationships, whether it be with men or with friends or new people in my life, I had to first forgive that, because now I had to look at everyone has a story. And until you sit or walk in their life with them, we won't really know. We could only guess. And guessing is not right when we really use those guesses to actually live our lives. So rather than guess, now is the time to actually find out, get the receipts. The actions you're going to take, Mr. and Mrs Saggitarius. Wow, this is your life purpose. 6, you're using from Aries all the way up to Virgo. 1 plus 6 is 7. Then you're going to use your Libra. So you're combining Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. When you do that, you already know yourself. Now that you know those elements about yourself, now you're going to start to use your Libra side. You're going to start to use the scales, the pros and the cons. In order to use the pros and the cons, right, the healthy way that works for you, is going to connect you to your life purpose. Archangel Chamuel. Look at that. Look at all the green pastures that you have planted. Now it's time to walk forth and spread that abundance everywhere you go. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. Time to spread your wings. Sagittarius, you hold the key to the human psyche. We learn through you, Sagittarius, what it really means to love, forgive, let go, and be abundant. You taught us what it takes to, when we let go, to not let go from a negative view, but to let go and give room for that continuation of the story. Mr. and Mrs Saggitarius, when you connect with your father, that will be leading you even further towards your life purpose. Everything that you had to experience led you to this moment. Now that you're confident in yourself, now you can move forward to talk those harsh or uncertain topics to your father. The next action you will take on July 12th to July 18th, 8 of water. Wow, Sagittarius, you're using your intuition. You went from 7 to 8. So you're using your Pharaoh side of yourself. You are well balanced emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. Now you're prepared to take who you are as a person and connect that to your Father. That will not only heal yourself, but it will have you unlock that understanding that you held the key to abundance. You held the key to self-love. Sometimes we need the conversation of our Father to see how far we have grown and how far we have come. A desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotionally growth. So, Mrs. Sagittarius, you're moving towards your desire. Once you talk to your father, your biological father, the father figure, your spiritual father, then you will have those tools to move on to your next journey, your next destination. Then you will know exactly what that something is that makes your world, your life more meaningful. And when that happens, you will be spiritually, emotionally in growth. So until we meet again, Mr. and Miss Sagittarius, I love you. I and we will see you on the other side.